Shit. Welcome, people.
Hi, we're supposed to have a
We,
video going on here.
we messed up. Here
Look,
we
guys.
go. Welcome again. My name is Jill Petrie. I am a psychic medium, author, teacher,
Mom.
mom, right?
Um, yes, I am Frank, mystic coach. Actually, I work construction too. If anybody wants floors, um, but yes,
And I work roadside.
but
Okay.
yeah, this is live with Jill and Frank, and where we discuss spiritual topics. And so, welcome you guys. We're gonna let people come in and
Yes,
get
welcome to the
ready.
48th episode.
48, eh? Wow, we're nearing a year. Well, we have to figure that one out in real time because we have a skipped episode if I'm right,
We have a
and
few.
yeah, we have a couple of weird things with our episodes. So yes, uh, but we're coming on a year. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's
Yep,
not
a
bad at
whole
all.
year. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
ask you to please share the live. Let's see.
Anybody coming in yet?
We have some cool little mottos on there.
So what were okay, so you wanted to talk about, you said aliens, right? Like
Yeah, I had an
you want to
alien
dive right
request.
into that one.
I had an
Okay.
alien request.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so as far as aliens go,
My problem is I know nothing about it. That like
neither do I.
well then we're going to be really really well equipped to talk about it. Um like at my here's what I'll say about it that I believe. It's one cosmology, right? Whether each of our lives is going to have been in contact with different types of realities, right? Each of those realities all are good and they all coexist, right? So some of us will have spent the last 20 years immersed in everything that has to do with aliens, right?
Hmm.
And we'll have I see people that say they've communicated with aliens, or they've, and they talk about the different types and where they're from, and they describe them, and there's a whole, I mean, they're like, it's very intricate when you get into that world. Now, I believe, because I come from the Kabbalah and magic, we use angels, archangels, we use demons, we use like all those kinds of like um different images, but in the end, um
You use demons? Did I hear that correctly?
yeah, some magicians do.
What do you mean?
Okay, your demons are um demons are the same as angel, like every all of it is just parts of yourself, right? The entire thing about religions, all right, so this is going to get really deep really fast. The whole thing about religion, at the birth of religion, was to explain the world in which we live and what's going on inside of us. And at the same time, those people who were not stupid in any way, shape, or form also discovered that there was a link between the things that were going out, that were happening outside of us, and the things that were happening inside of us. And so they started making links, like, stuff like anger and lightning or
Mhm.
thunder, right? And they said, okay, lightning and thunder, that's anger. And so they said, okay, how do we, they probably didn't call it personify that, but they said, okay, so what would that do? Um, and so they made it into a shape. They made it into a god. They said, well, there's the god, that controls that. And then we ended up with Mars, Venus. We ended up with, a god of love, a god of and all the different personifications. Now, at the same time, okay, not at the same time. There's, like, we're talking about millions of years of development here. Um, which, if anybody wants to read the most driest book second driest book I've ever read in my life, first one being The Selfish Gene, which is another amazing book, but crazy. uh
So I
but The
have
Golden
someone in the
Bough.
comments, Frank. I'm
Okay,
sorry to
sorry.
interrupt you. Someone's asking about a book in the comments actually called Cyprian.
Saint Cyprian. I don't know. I've never actually done demon magic myself. I had a mirror that was given to me at some point uh, to do evocations, but I never did it. It was from. It was supposed to be for working with the Goetia. The Goetia is a grimoire of. Okay, the way it works when you're doing magic with demons, there's different systems. One system that's been used by a lot of magicians that have had a name, if you will, in high magic, uh, was the Book of Abramlin the Mage. Uh, the Book of Abramlin the Mage. What he does, his system of magic, what he says. Okay, here's what you're gonna do. It's a 6 month process. Now, I'm trying to remember. It's either 6 months or a year. I think it's six. The first 6 months, all you do day in, day out, is you offer devotion to God. Now, in the second half, or like, I read this about 25 years ago, so you'll have to bear with me on the details. But eventually, what you do is you now call upon each of the demons and you assert your authority over them. You say, because I have God backing me, you now work for me. And what you're doing is you're using a crapload of personifications of uh, traits, if you will, human traits, but now you're asserting your power over them. And so later on, it's a way of controlling yourself in a way, but it extends more because yourself is also everything because you're
Mhm.
source. So eventually you kind of go into that, but like, it's exactly, sorry, he was like Solomon. Yes, the Goetia, the book I mentioned, is also called the Greater Key of Solomon. There's the Lesser Key and the Greater Key. I don't remember which is which, actually. The Goetia is the Lesser Key of Solomon. Both, crazy grimoires. Like, a lot of the symbols you see everywhere thrown around on the internet, like the sigils and whatever, a lot of them are taken from the Key of Solomon. Uh, they're very great. Here's the problem with magic. Here's what happens to and what has happened for hundreds of years is people come to it and they will see a grimoire. They will see something like the Key of Solomon, which describes I don't remember how many demons, but whatever. And there's even one that it says, "Do not say his name." And of course, what does everybody do? Go, oh, bleh. But there's so people go like, "Whoa, okay, so all I got to do is like do this ritual, and it'll do this with the demon." And it's like, no, because you're missing the years of practice that come before that. That book is not the beginner book. That book is somebody who did magic, said, it's like a chef wrote a recipe, right? And you're coming in, you've never used a knife in your life, and you're going like, okay, cool, I'm going to make that recipe. And it's calling for 12 different spices and whatever, and you got to really, finesse it. And it's got to be, it's like a risotto or something. It's got to be so like whatever it is, right? It's like not a chance you're going to make it. And so people come at magic with, going like, I want spells. And it's like, yeah, first you need to, like the magic of a gremlin is a good example because it's a full system, because it starts with the entire devotion thing. Um, but that is really not about aliens. So going back to aliens though. So what do you think about aliens? What do you think are they real? Are they not? Are they?
They have to be real. There's no way it couldn't be real. If we're real, I don't doubt anything. I'm open to anything.
Oh, who said that? Somebody said something and it was really smart. They said, okay, so here's what. If there is life out there, that is like the most incredible thing ever. But here's what. If there isn't life out there, that is the most incredible thing ever. Dude, it's infinite. How could there not be? And at the same time, like, I mean, we don't know. Why
Oh,
would there
I
be? So it's
definitely
like,
believe that they have made contact, and I believe that there's some things that are fabricated to sound fake. But I believe in anything. Definitely.
I believe in anything. Okay, well, wait up. um, well, okay, what if I said in some people's universe, yeah, absolutely. In
Hmm.
other people's universe, they don't even exist.
Yeah, that's true. Because the ones that don't believe,
They're not
they don't have
affected
the
by it
same
ever.
right.
They don't even think about it. It never occupies any of their brain space. It never like they just kind of go, nah, it's a non thing. It's I know
Hmm.
I've been delving in that kind of thing about the mind lately, where like we have such different experiences, all of us, and we all
Yep,
think so much that there's one common reality, and it's like, no, there
there isn't.
isn't. There's 8 billion realities.
Hmm.
And if we explore that, now the problem is the left is actually, that's what they're saying. That's their main point. But it's like so mixed into all kinds of like, well, it's been politicized. That's the problem. It became something that it wasn't supposed to be, that it was never. Remember when like if you think about it, right? Woke used to be what you called somebody that would awaken like spiritually, somebody that would come to terms with like, oh my god, like we live in the matrix type deal, right? Like we realize that, oh my god, there's
Hmm.
so much more than this, right?
Right.
And it also meant, because you were coming to terms with that, usually you become a more accepting person, you become, all those things do come hand in hand with it.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden somebody somewhere, and mostly in your government, kind of decided like, we're going to grab that and we're going to weaponize it. And they just grabbed young people, started weaponizing the crap out of it, and then it just went all out of whack. But in truth, um, our mind isn't too open to accept to see what's out there. Well, and I mean, but that's the whole thing, right? Some of us may be prepared because some people say that they've met them. Some people say that they get messages from them. Some people, and I mean, you know what? Like, I don't know, man. Like, Jill's a psychic. I'm intuitive. Like, who's to know anymore, man? I meet so many people now that have so many different gifts, and that, I mean,
I actually had an alien abduction in one of my books,
really.
and I believe this woman. Yeah,
Yeah, some people, you kind of hear their story and you go, wait a minute, like, and you just, if you dig a little deep on the internet, right? If you kind of go like, okay, let me delve into anything that I'm not used to, right? Anything weird that I can think of, like, let's see if it even exists, right?
right.
And it's, you're gonna end up going into like all these weird rabbit holes, but you'll realize all of a sudden like how different people can be from one another. Like, we're all there's a book I like. It's the Book of the Law. It's actually, and I kind of actually believe in the law, but whatever.
Are we
We
really
won't
talking
even go
about a
there.
book?
No. Well, it's a philosophy as well.
Because it varies in every state and country.
Hmm. Oh, it's got nothing to do with actual law.
Okay.
No, no, it's cosmic law. It's the Book of the Law. It's um some people believe it to be the new Bible, if you will, for the new eon. Um yeah, yeah. I don't even know
I
why I
don't
was
believe
mentioning
in
it, but
Bibles or books or anything. I
I
believe
believe in
in
all of
go
them.
with I believe in go with what you experience, and the rest go what feels right to you. If the Bible feels right to you, go with that. If it doesn't feel right to you, go with whatever feels right to you, and
Well,
that's the
that's
right
it.
way.
That's it. Well, so you don't, yeah, you do believe in them then. If they feel right to somebody,
I
they
don't
should use them.
personally, but I don't believe in people in I don't believe it's bad to use.
Well, so that's the thing.
Right. Just
Fall
not
I
for
may
me.
not follow one, but
Right.
that doesn't mean I don't believe it's good for someone.
Mhm.
Because the thing is, it's somebody's reality.
Right.
It's somebody's truth. And at some point it was my truth. You know what I mean? At some point that was my truth as well. When I was younger, I was, for a while I was Catholic. Well, I was young. I was very young. But I was walking to church, and I was, well, it wasn't for long because I had a lot of questions and none were answered the way I wanted them to be. So then I turned to Buddhism. You know what? Anybody that has any kind of interest in spirituality, I would say, look, forget that it's considered a religion. Read a book, any book on Buddhism. Doesn't even have to be like, it's not like they have a Bible or anything. And the whole thing about Buddhism, the very first rule of Buddhism is nobody cares. Like, you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to read nothing. You don't have to, whatever, man. Come if you want. Don't come if you don't want.
Right.
Do
And
whatever is
still
you.
now, like if I had to attend a service for whatever reason at a church,
Hmm.
whether it be a Catholic, Baptist, Pentecostal, um, whatever kind of church or organization it would be, I would attend and respect their beliefs while I'm there, but I wouldn't like say, "Oh, I'm not going into that church." You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that kind of, yeah, yeah. No, no.
yeah,
I'm not. I've never been anti any religion. Well, I mean, I'm
right.
I'm an omnist, so I'm for every religion in a sense.
Mhm.
I just believe they all have the truth.
As long
Me.
as it's you're leading the right life for the right reasons,
Whoa, what's the,
I don't
okay?
see
Wait a minute.
anything wrong with religion.
But here's the deal: what's the right life, and what's the right reasons? Like, who
I
determines that?
mean, like,
Who
when they
determines that?
marrying off children and stuff like that, I don't believe in that stuff.
But that could be. I mean, the right life for one person might not be the right life for another person.
Okay, well, there's the
I
karmic law again, or whatever you called it.
I suspect the right life for me is not the same as somebody who grew up 12 years locked in a closet. Right?
No.
I'm going extremes, but I mean, there's a whole lot of gray between the two.
Mhm.
And so none of us, there's no one right, one size fits all. There's 8 billion
Mhm.
sizes, and we all got to shine as a star. That's where I was going with the book of the law, one of the passages says every man and every woman is a star. And
Mhm.
that's what it is. Every man and every woman is a star. And when we meet somebody, anytime we say what you're doing is wrong, we are breaking a law. We're breaking a cosmic law because we cannot say that what they're doing is wrong. We do not have their higher self, we have ours. I don't know why there's a sun there. But like, you know what I mean? We gotta you gotta people gotta listen more, and they gotta hug each other more, and just kind of chill a little. I think that's all there is to it. People are going crazy. But here's the deal, right? Again, same thing. I said that the other day in a short on YouTube. I said, people going nuts, blah blah blah, and then somebody said, and I said where I thought it was going, and I whatever. But this person went like, "Well, yeah, just because you made it so," and I was like, "Oh crap, she's right. That's totally it." Anything you look at, like even if you look at the big picture, hi Nick, even if you look at the big
Hi,
picture
Nick.
and governments and whatever, you still have the power we have over those things is so weird. I wish. Okay, at some point when I have, I'm planning on getting a house, you guys, soon, like a new place. If I do, like, I'm gonna try to get a whiteboard or something. I gotta draw that thing I keep on seeing in my head, um, so that people understand what I'm talking about. Okay, here's what. Let me do it on paper because I keep on trying to explain this, and now I don't know how to draw it, so that could be tough. Whoa, what the hell am I doing? Okay, this.
So, Jonathan, what do you know about demon magic?
Yeah, we really had to start on the.
Like, have you heard of the topic?
It doesn't have to be demon magic. I don't know why I went. Well, everybody stopped because I said demon, but I said demon among a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but that's the one thing that was like, what?
Yes, because people have.
He's heard of it, but he's never used it. So I've never even
Because
heard of
people
this.
attach beliefs that are, because even though everybody loves to hate Christianity, everybody is so attached to their beliefs. That's why. That's pretty much all it is. It's all remnant of all of us, or a lot of us, having been
Why would
Christians before.
anyone do magic with demons, though? Like, I don't get it.
Okay, your demons. I struggle with the demon of addiction.
Hmm.
Now, I give it a shape and I banish it. Well, guess
Okay,
what?
so that's what. Okay,
So
so
I'm
it.
playing with my mind. I'm playing with my psyche. It's just that there's a part of my psyche, which is, the subconscious, like that deeper part, which doesn't understand words. We can't communicate with it. We're not conscious of it. We're not, there's a lot going on in the background that we
Hmm.
don't quite control. However, it communicates to us through dreams. We know
Right.
that. We can already acknowledge that. It uses
Hmm.
images. So, what magic does then is you create a space. That is what the initial training would be. When you create your banishing circles, when you learn to balance your energies, you are now creating a temple in the astral realm because you're imagining. So, you're going into the dream realm because
Hmm.
your imagination is the same as your dreams. So you're creating a space, and through repetition, that space becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And at some point, when that space is clear enough and you've made the characters that will work in it, like in when I do my banishing, I will create four archangels in all four corners.
Right.
Those archangels also lead choirs of angels. I could visualize, once I get good at it, because at first it's super hard, but I can see a choir of angels behind. And eventually, the part that is absolutely freaky is that eventually now your subconscious takes over. It takes the lead. It kind of goes, okay, here's what you've created, all these opportunities for me to use images, to use dreams to communicate with you. And you can also yourself send messages to it because you understand that it knows symbols. It knows this imagery. It uses your imagination. Now, this is where it's tricky because at first, it's really like it's easy to lose your
So
footing because at first you're using your imagination. So you're kind of going like, okay, well, this feels crazy because whatever, it's me doing it. But then the one day that it happens, that all of a sudden the images kind of take a life of their own. Like they'll just all of a sudden you'll visualize things that you weren't really thinking of visualizing. It's just it decided to appear like that day, and you'll be like, whoa, okay, what just happened? That was, and it'll be clearer, and it'll be, and all of a sudden, you know that, okay, wait up, now something's happening, and now you've reached, a certain spot where you can now start working with that, right? It's a whole process, like it's a huge process. Now the problem is with magic, what I believe is that magic has the potential to get you out of balance. And because I'm a mystic, I believe that the center pillar, the pillar between mercy and severity, if you will, is the one pillar that we always have to travel. Magicians, on the other hand, they'll do spells for gaining love, gaining money, gaining, and they will constantly bring themselves out of balance. Now, a magician that is well trained, that has already attained a certain level of maturity in creating their environment, will be able to also, through using either the tarot or some method of divination or through intuition, to know whether they should perform a spell or not, or whether it will put them out of balance or rebalance them, right? But I find a lot of times what ends up happening is people start wanting to use spells right away, right? And so they don't reach that, and they start getting themselves all out of balance. And one of the things I've seen often enough, and I might be chastised by any magicians that watches this, but I've seen a lot of ego tripping,
oh yeah.
like a lot of ego tripping, because people all of a sudden realize that they can do things that, the average person just doesn't do every day, right? So they're like, whoa, oh my God, like I can. And then they get themselves even more out of balance, right? And so for that reason, for me, I've only kept it to, like harvesting the actual energy and balancing it, and not really so much send it out to do things. I've done it a few times, and I will, but I do it on a weird intuitive. Like at this point, it's become very different because I can, like I've said to you, I can be at court and literally close my eyes and be in my temple
So
doing
are we
magic.
basically talking about um getting into someone's mind,
Your
um
mind, getting in your
anyone's
own mind.
mind, like that had like an issue, like go can you elaborate more on that?
Okay,
Because
wait
what
up.
I'm trying to understand is this connect, I know it's not connected, but is there a different way to do this besides magic? Like
Yes.
maybe hypnosis,
There's
past
a
life
million
regression.
different ways. There's a million different ways.
Okay.
They will all have their pros and cons. Now, magic. Okay, here's the real dangers of magic. When people say that there are dark societies, that there are like all these weird
Yeah, that
things
really does
related to it,
exist.
they do exist, and that is one thing that can happen. And somebody that becomes egomaniac, and somebody that comes at it through right now. Okay, here's the deal. What I was talking about was using magic to subdue demons. right? Now, some people, they come at it no protection and they just try to invoke demons. Well, now what they're doing is exactly the same thing we were talking about. So they are invoking a part of themselves, but unfortunately, it's not the best part of themselves. And they're invoking that. And then later on, they become a complete a hole. And you know what I mean? But the thing is, when they were trying to get favors from blah blah demons, blah blah,
Mhm.
what they were doing is invoking a part of themselves.
Right.
Um, Now, some people like Satanism, right? Those people, because in the end, in essence, the whole good and evil thing, like forget about that. Satanism, all it is the religion of men. So they or woman, but of person. um, and so they say no, no, the flesh, whatever, like this, that's it, that's what we need to um and so it's not unhealthy either. Like there's a really, like, I've known people that were Satanists and I went, oh, okay, wait a minute, this is not what I thought. Now this is one form, but then there's the whole Hollywood bunch of, like, God knows what
Right.
in the name of God is going on there. That stuff I have no clue. But yes, I do believe that there's something we often forget, even when we're looking at, like, people trying to control things right now in the world and whatever. But there's something we always forget. There's like a massive layer of population that if you don't control them, they die, and that's a sad reality, right? And so I believe that yes, there's always been groups that aimed to fix it by controlling. It's not the right way, but there's always been those. And so some came across magic, obviously, and would use it for controlling. So it does exist. Uh, because magic is everyday life. Here's what
Right.
magic is. I want a job. I want money, right? Here's what I can do. I can get up early in the morning and I can,
Look for a
start
job.
calling, look for a job and get a job. Now, that sounds really stupid, but that is magic. Now, you can also do magic in the astral, and while you're looking for a job, send all the energies and the vibrations and whatever you can to back you up in your endeavors, and you'll probably find a job way faster. But if you sit at home and do nothing and try to do all the rituals in the world to get a job, nobody's calling
Mhm.
because you never called anybody. You never said to anyone, hey, I'm looking for a job, right? One of the tenets of Christianity is somewhere in there. It says, if you help yourself, God will help you, and that's a basic truth. Like, it doesn't call it God, the universe, whatever it is. If you're not trying, it's not gonna happen. I mean, sure,
Mhm.
there's lottery winners every day, but they're lottery winners, right? So I think I don't know. So that's my, yeah. I don't know how we got on magic. That's a
I
little
don't
far from
know. We
aliens.
started off with aliens.
Okay, how about angel magic? Because the same thing can be done with angels. Now, angels will be your more beneficial parts. You know what I mean? Angels will be your. That's what I work with. I don't work with demons. I work with angels and archangels and light and my higher self and just general love.
Cannot miss a show without showing this picture.
Maybe that is what they look like, or maybe they look like me, or Jonathan says he uses a lot of angel magic and saints. See? Angel magic comes back like in a lot of places. Um, and it's very powerful. People don't understand,
Which
like,
saints do you use mostly, Jonathan? I would say Michael for me.
I don't know the saints. My great aunt was a saint. She was for real though. She got canonized when I was like, I don't know, 8 or something like that. My mom told me, I was like, what?
Have you double checked that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people that get, not a lot. I mean, not millions, but it's a thing. Yeah, yeah. It was weird, dude. There's a lot of weird shit on my mom's side. I don't know half of it, and I never will probably. Those were all the old people dying when I was a kid. That's why I
Yeah.
went to so many funerals. But I learned so much there. Saint Cyprian. I don't know Saint Cyprian. I will look up Saint Cyprian. Isn't it the second time he mentions it tonight? Yes. Uh, you
Michael and
mentioned,
Metatron.
well, those are archangels. Yes, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
Saints.
Jonathan was Catholic, I believe, growing up, huh, Jonathan?
Why didn't it see why? Saint Cyprian.
We'll have to have Jonathan come on and show us
Yeah, that could be fun.
for the viewers what he does with his egg cleansing because it's so amazing. We'll have to schedule you in, Jonathan.
I'll have to read the whole thing on Cyprian. I can't read it while we're live. It won't work. There's too much to read. I'm like, oh no. Extra kindness encouraged vigor and steadiness. He was cheerful and serious, so that people did not know whether to love or respect him more. He waxed warm during the baptismal controversy. His feelings must have concerned him for patience. He wrote a treatise on patience. Interesting. Nice. I like it.
We like him.
I like him. I don't know. But then, is there anybody I don't like? There
I
isn't
can't think
really.
of anyone.
There isn't really. If I can't find it to hate my ex, there's probably nobody I'm ever gonna hate. Did I just say that
Yes, you did.
live? As she says, share. Please, people, share, share.
Please
It's
share the
important.
show.
It must get to her. I'm not even worried. But so, what else? I don't know. What else do you want to know about? Like, while we're on, you've been trying to get me to talk about magic and that stuff for a while. So
I don't know. It's just it seems like the more you say, the more it resonates with like what we do. Like it seems very similar.
it
It's
is.
just that it's just a different name.
It's excessively organized, is what it is. And because it's organized, like the tarot. Why is the tarot good for divination? Because of the way it's organized. Because everything in the tarot, like in those 78 cards, you can find everything in life. And oh my god, uh oh, I gotta find that information. You will freak out. How long it would take to get through each different way that a tarot deck can come out? It would take like hundreds of years. It's insane. Like
What
you'll
do you
never
mean
have two
each?
whenever you do a spread, like when you shuffle a tarot deck,
Hmm.
okay, the odd, like how long it would take for you to go through all the different ways that it can be shuffled, it
Hmm.
would take hundreds of years if you did it constantly. Like it's some
Really?
staggering number. Yeah, yeah, it's insane. I wish I'd remember where I saw that. It was a staggering number. I was like, holy moly. Well, it's
Do you
78 cards, right? And
work with cards a lot?
no, Well, I meditate with them. I The only reason I worked with cards was for magic, right? For, well, different things. Okay, so here's what. The tarot, I work with the tarot also to understand the universe, because the
Mhm.
tarot's a book. The 22 trumps, the major trumps, those 22, they're a book that explains, one, how the universe was created, and two, how we, the creator, can create more.
Mhm.
And it's literally, it teaches magic, because a while ago, hundreds, thousands of years ago, um, the the same people we were talking about earlier that do magic to control also wanted to be the only ones that can do magic, right? And so if the population can learn about magic, well, that's not good, because the population can actually empower themselves, because they'll know that they have the power to create. And so what they did is they outlawed magic. They started killing witches. They started, and so the only way that they could manage to pass down the information was through creating a book, and that book was the 22 trumps of the tarot. And then create, and in that book, in those 22 trumps, they inserted a whole bunch of codes, and through images, through symbols, because again, like we said earlier, the the um, the symbols are what our subconscious uses. So because they were already working with the subconscious, they already had systems that were in place. Then what they did is they created a series of symbols that would then represent the entire process of creation. And then they created a key that would help understand that bunch of symbols. And that key was the Kabbalah, the tree of life. And so if anybody puts the two together and then looks at the position of each and the relationships and so on and so forth, the tarot explains pretty much everything you need to know, from one end to the other. Sorry, I'm going to read Jonathan here. 20 cents.
I just never realized that it was. I don't know.
Eh, Sorry, I was
Probably
reading.
because I haven't studied magic.
It's it's just a whole bunch of like it's just, I think all it is, and that's one type of magic too, right? Because I mean, witchcraft is magic and works very
Mhm.
differently. Um, Now, I believe that if you took witchcraft and then, well, some witches do it. If you take some of the basic rituals of high magic and you do witchcraft, and then you infuse your magic that you do with with your witchcraft with that energy, like it makes it even better or whatever. Like it makes it even, because you're now mixing two types of things. You're working with the herbs, you're working with the energy of the moon, of the planets, of whatever
Mhm.
you're, and that's another type of magic too. There's planetary magic. You can work with the different powers of the different planets. You can work with astrology. uh, Astrological magic also works. um, Anybody that doesn't use astrology, I don't understand. Like literally anybody, go download your chart. You can find it all over online. Put in your date of birth, your
Yep.
time of birth,
It's
read your chart
it's
and tell me it's not you.
so
And then
accurate.
if you're a parent, go get your children's charts and you'll be like, "Oh my god, I got my kids' charts when like when they were born, right? I went like, okay, I'm gonna print that right away, so I get a guideline for my child, if you will." And it literally worked. It was like a manual for both of my kids, uh, especially my daughter. That was important. I had to understand real quick. She's got a really high energy. She's very needs to experience a million things, and it has to move fast. And she's very yeah, she's gonna be something. So I had to. But it said that it like all over the place. My daughter, I think I fed her 3 times with a spoon, and then she took the spoon, and she would make a huge mess, but there was not a chance I was getting that spoon back. That was not happening. And she's still that way. I try to show her stuff and she'll be like, ah. I'm like, okay, you figure it out. But what can you do? Parenting is sorry for those that don't have kids. Like, sorry, but I have to say it. Parenting is actually a really cool gift. Like, you know, it's I wish it
Definitely.
on everybody. Anyways, so did we have other topics? Did we cover aliens that well? I don't know. Are we still on magic? Are we?
No, I think that was the only topic that we have for tonight.
We can make. Do you make Jonathan? If I'm right, you make talismans and scrolls and those types of things as well, don't you? And candles and I'm just naming a whole bunch, hoping I hit one. Object magic, we'll call it. See, that's a huge part of magic. That's the part that's actually kind of nice. Is you like putting energy into candles. Let's say, like Jonathan says, right? You put an energy in that candle, and then you burn the candle and it releases
Right,
that energy. And also, but it's very key that you're in the case of candles, it's very key that you're burning a candle, because what you're also doing is you're offering a physical sacrifice, the candle.
right.
Physical sacrifices don't have to be children and sheep. They can be candles and incense. um, Herbs, colognes.
Yeah, he dresses candles, which
Yeah,
I
i
mean, I've done that too.
I get herbs. I don't get colognes. Oh, it's just
Well,
for the smell. Okay, oils and fruits. All right.
it's different oils and stuff, and he uses this. I, well, don't you make a don't you make one an oil?
Me?
But I no, Jonathan.
Okay.
Like I know I have this, and I have like holy water. But I think Jonathan might make one.
I mix the and make my
Yeah,
own.
he makes his own,
That's it.
and he uses coconut water a
Nice.
lot.
Nice.
Like he sprays himself.
Oh, really? Must smell good. Coconut smells good. Coconut and vanilla. I don't know what it is about those two smells. Like, I just really like both. Um, okay, why
Mm,
have we
good
become silent?
coconut smoke ball.
All right, what else can we talk about?
Waiting for Jonathan's reply
So what's
on
going on with
the
the world right now? Isn't everybody going
coconut
crazy?
oil. Yes, and he also takes coconuts and puts them like by doors, like the whole coconuts, and lets the energy goes in them. We'll have to have him on one day and let him explain all that to you. He does some
Absolutely, that
cool
would be
stuff.
nice. That would be nice. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So what's going on in the world right now? Well, all they have on TikTok is this submarine.
Yes, that's true.
That's all I see. I'm tired of seeing it.
Stop watching TikTok.
I have. I
It's
didn't
all
really
over
have a
everywhere. It's all
choice.
over Facebook. It's all over Twitter. It's all over everywhere.
I never really get on Facebook, so I don't know.
I mean, I understand,
I
but
only use Facebook for Messenger, but I don't scroll Facebook often.
problem is, like, they don't need to plaster it everywhere. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna help find them, right? Like it was nonstop, and then people doing satire of it, and people, and it's like, okay, really, like that's we're not even there yet, and it's a little too early. Like it was really, I don't know. Everybody jumped on that one. It's kind of weird. I found it was a little too much. Um, but yeah, but it's the thing, right? Now people will change all their Facebook status and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, it's what we do. So what about that? That's a good topic. Why is that what
What?
we do? Why is that what we do, humans?
Because we have to have something to entertain ourselves and
But not only
gossip
that, the
and
whole follow everybody talks about the same thing, right? Like if you don't show up at the water cooler and you don't have the same conversation as everybody else, everybody kind of goes like, "Huh? Why is this person not in the same like we you know what I mean? There's a vast not I don't mean to say us because I mean we're part of the people on the
wow.
off-beaten path, but all
Mhm.
the normies, all the people in that middle class that just basically does what they're told, tries not to move too much air, and like, how does that work? And is it really something? Because we always talk about changing the world and making it this weird utopia, right?
Mhm.
Or do they have to exist? That class, that sort of like middle bunch that just I almost want to call them the NPCs, right? The non-player characters. They just kind of respond. They're most of their life is automatic for the most part. You know what I mean? Even when you meet them, you kind of go, okay. So you go to work, you come back home, you watch TV, you go to work, you come back home, you watch TV, you go to work, you come.
Repeat.
You're like, wow, uh, okay. And I mean, it's okay if they're happy, sure. But there's a lot of that, right? Like that's a
Mhm.
lot of people, and a lot of people respond to what they're being told and what they're being shown.
Right.
Is that something because some of us are trying to work against that, right? And then some of
Mhm.
us are like trying to control it, and some of is it a good thing, is it a bad thing, is it something we can get away from, or is it just the wheel of life and that's that?
I think it just depends on the person and the situation, and everybody's different.
Okay, go on.
Basically, that's it. Everybody's different, so it it just depends on the situation and the person.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that's most things too, I guess. That's true.
And it's going to depend on how each person deals with a situation.
Yeah, true enough. So, your thoughts on any
My
other topics?
my thoughts are everybody's different, and it's okay to be different. And it's okay not to try to be like somebody else.
Well, yeah, because you can't be like somebody else because you're you.
Right. But some people still try.
Yeah, most of us try. That's part of shadow work too. People often forget about that. Um, it's not just the things about you that you refuse. It's the things about you that you don't acknowledge because you're trying so much to be like somebody else. But the truth is, you're already like that somebody usually. You won't do it because you shadow yourself with that admiration that you have.
Right.
So that's a thing we do, right? We kind of go, oh, if I could be more like this person. And if you look at the types of people you idolize, you'll kind of realize like, hey, wait a minute, there's some, like the main lines remain the same or whatever. And you kind of go, oh, okay, wait up. Maybe that's a part of me that I want to develop. Maybe that's a part of me that I should have been. And somebody somewhere said, no, because yeah, we all have those people as children. So now we get to go, hey, wait a minute. No, I can do that shit. No problem. Did I say a bad word? I'm
Yep.
sorry.
But we did not get booted off. So we are all good.
We're still loved by the algorithms. That's okay. We're not bad people. All right. So I don't know. We seem to be running out of steam. I feel.
Yeah, look, let's wrap it up for tonight. We
Sounds good.
are going to be back live in 1 week from tonight on Thursday at 7 ish Central Standard Time, 8 ish, 8
That's probably
ish
what we should put everywhere.
Eastern
8-ish.
Time. And we thank you for joining us